And rights and freedoms are the fundamental discussion that we need to have to define what is a right and what is a freedom. Are they worth having? Why are they worth having? And what, as Canadians, do we believe are essential and non negotiable?
Yeah. Well, and just to jump in here a little bit, it's just such a topic that is so important, but yet we don't talk about because, like I mentioned earlier, we throw out, I have the right to this, I have the right to that. And then obviously, we see we don't always have the right to do things that we please. And we do abide by regulations and laws. We talked about speeding last week or last episode, which is obviously one that we don't really think twice about. We've agreed to this social contract and then try to abide the best as we can to the speeding limits. But then when something like you can't go out and socialize, you can't meet with your family at Christmas, this conversation, we almost we were kind of having the conversation, but more it was just emotionally charged and divisive, thanks to our leaders, I would say, rather than having a conversation about individual responsibility versus what public responsibilities are and where and how far our rights go. So again, really interested in this discussion and hearing what it is you've come up with, Colonel
So,
Redman.
yeah. So, last in a previous discussion, we talked about my definition of the circle.
Hmm.
And standing at the top of the circle is an individual, all on their own in the middle of nowhere. And they have 100% rights and 100% freedoms because there's no one else around. And so they can do anything they want at any time and in any way in the manner of their choosing. And then in that circle, everybody wants to draw things left, right in a long line. I always do it in a circle because if you follow the path around that circle, no matter whether you go left or you go right, as you walk around that circle, at the bottom of the circle is a total dictatorship where every citizen is told exactly what to do, what to think, when to do, and how much they can do, and nothing more. And you do exactly what the dictator tells you. So as you walk left or right around that circle, you are intentionally giving up certain of your rights or your freedoms in order to be able to live together in a society to achieve greater things than can be achieved by a single individual. And so it's a positive thing to come together in civilization and to build with others. And so the definition then is, do you go left or do you go right? And my simple definition is, as you go further left, government becomes more and more and more industry. And as you go right, the private sector takes on more and more importance until it reaches that midpoint and starts to become government itself and takes over government. And at the bottom, you end up, no matter which way you go, with a dictator. So it's the citizen's choice how much right and how much freedom they're willing to subjugate to the majority or to their society. And at what point do you stop? What point do you say, nope, we can't go past that line? And so, as everything in a democracy, it evolves. And so we have to have constant. It's not you write it, it's done, okay, we never talk about it again because societies evolve. And so each time we end up in these discussions where we believe government has gone too far, we try and ratchet back or we try and have a meaningful discussion to define what is an essential right or freedom.